2026, it seems to finally be happening. We are getting tons of original horror movie ideas. From actual originality, from ideas like End of Oak Street or Obsession, which, are doing really well, to adaptations of original ideas like Backrooms or Other Mommy. These are the things that horror fans have been begging for many, many years. Originality. On top of that, however, franchises that have been around for a long, long time are getting new adaptations left, right, and center, such as VHS having 2 brand new movies coming out, one this year, one next year, with Mixtape and SCP, another idea adapted from somewhere else, and the Evil Dead franchise, which had Evil Dead Burn this year, and will have Evil Dead Wrath next year. Certain franchises are showing no signs of slowing down, which is what I want to talk about today, but more specifically, some of the titans of horror. Some of the biggest names, some of the most recognizable titles and horror villains are coming back to our screens in no small way. These are some huge announcements and some big news, some stuff I didn't even know about until I Googled it. So we're going to sit down today and we're going to talk about 5 major horror movies that are getting new movies in the upcoming future. I don't think this year by any stretch. And not only am I going to tell you guys about the news that I read, which you can look up yourself, but I'm going to tell you about it and I'm going to give you my reaction to it. So welcome to Saturday of the Dead. I am JT, and that intro was backwards, but let's get into it.
Get real. You're not even scary. You're not even scary.
So, first things first, the big one, and well, I won't say the big one, but the most recent one, the one that I am most interested in, I would say, is all this news about A Nightmare on Elm Street. If you don't know about this already, I'm going to assume you live under a rock, or maybe you're not a big horror fan. But for about a decade plus, maybe it's 2 decades now almost, the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise has kind of been frozen out. After the remake with Jackie Earle Haley, which gets buried alive at every possible turn, everyone loves burying that movie, the Wes Craven estate has refused to let anybody make any other Nightmare movies. And you can't blame them. While I don't hate the Nightmare on Elm Street remake, I do understand why people do hate it. I think Jackie Earle Haley was given a bad script, and he's given a lot of fluff for nothing. That one screenshot everyone shares of him shrugging his shoulders, it's such a bad thing. It's like sharing one bad picture of Henry Cavill. It's Henry Cavill, you're still going to love the guy. However, recently, I'm pretty sure the last week of July, it was announced that Wes Craven Estates, Warner Brothers, and Paramount have finally come to some kind of agreement. Originally, the idea that I first read was we're going to get a new Nightmare movie. Awesome, fantastic, exciting. However, more has come out, and now apparently it's a race. While Warner Brothers wants to create a new movie with director Lee Cronin, we'll talk about that in a second, Paramount Pictures' parent company, geez, alliteration much, is planning on doing a potential shot-for-shot remake of the original Nightmare on Elm Street. Now, of course, that comes with a lot of problems. Who wants a shot-for-shot remake? The Lion King did a near shot-for-shot remake for the live-action movie, and people were pretty skeptical. Some people didn't even like it because not enough was changed. Of course, if you change too much, people don't like you either. The thing about the Nightmare movies, and the reason I want to talk about them first, besides the fact it's the most recent announcement, is the simple fact that they were my first movies. They were the horror movies that got me into it. I think I talked about this in the first episode of this show. Also, I realized I call it Saturday of the Dead. Yes, I know it's Sunday of the Dead this week, but hey, who cares? Let's not get down into that kind of stuff. You guys know how this works. But I mentioned that Dream Warriors was the first horror movie to bring me into horror. It's the only reason that I even started watching horror in the first place. So here we are, all these years later, and we're getting 2 new Nightmare movies. New may not be the right word. First thing I want to talk about more than anything, and I might go on a bit of a rant here, and I apologize, I'll try not to, is who's going to play Freddy. Everyone and their mother and their mother's mother is trying to say it should be Robert Englund, even though the man is very old and said many years ago that he would not do that anymore. He's done playing Freddy. He's gotten too old. The movies took too long to happen. Excuse me. And again, this was years ago. It wasn't like last week or 2025. I should have found when he said the quote, but I'm getting frustrated with everybody saying, it has to be Robert Englund or don't make the movie. That was never going to happen. If it was 10 years ago, maybe if the Jackie Earl Haley movie failed and then like a year later they went to make another movie, maybe they could have gotten him. But he's not coming back for another Nightmare movie. So just put that to bed. Temper your expectations, move over here. For the full remake, I'm okay with the idea. It'll be interesting to see what they do with how far technology has come along. And CGI, not AI, they're two different things. Get your head on a swivel. Or get your head on straight. Get it off a swivel. There we go. This will be okay, right? The original Nightmare is a classic, legendary movie. Remaking it, shot for shot, probably kind of stupid because no one's going to be able to match Robert's energy. But if you get the right guy to do it, you can at least enjoy the movie. Excuse me, I don't know where my voice went. As far as a brand new movie by Lee Cronin, I don't think you can argue it. I haven't seen his Mummy movie, but I have seen Evil Dead Rise, which he directed. And he also directed the new Evil Dead Burn, which, of course, has its critics and has its ups and downs and all that kind of stuff. I haven't seen it yet. And I think he's also writing Evil Dead Wrath. I think he's writing all these Evil Dead movies. Or directing them anyhow. Excuse me, I don't want to get the vernacular wrong. I'm excited about that because I trust Lee Cronin. Evil Dead Rise is one of my favorite movies in the franchise, if not my favorite Evil Dead movie. And I know, Bruce Campbell. But I really, really liked Lee Cronin's Evil Dead Rise. I think he's a great director. I think his visions make a lot of sense. I think he knows what he wants and he goes for it and he nails it. And of course, there's the endless rumors and debates on if Freddy is a deadite. And people say the same thing about Jason. So he'll be fine. It'll be a good movie. As far as who plays Freddy, I know I mentioned that earlier and I didn't really talk about it. I don't care. It's one of those things where we have to wait for the announcement and then we can judge from there. And even then you can't really judge because were you one of the people that judged the Heath Ledger announcement? People are going to say, no, I knew. No, you didn't. Nobody knew. He was the guy that was in a gay movie, right? Like, I don't care about that. And a lot of people didn't care about that. But that was the argument. He played a gay man in Brokeback Mountain. Everyone was like, oh, it's Brokeback Joker. And he ended up being a Joker that's so good, everyone is convinced he's irreplaceable. Even if Mark Hamill somehow became a live-action Joker for a Batman movie, it would still be up for debate, which is crazy. So, whoever they cast, you just got to give them a chance, right? Either movie, the remake or the new one. I think, and I'm pretty sure in a video or a interview, I heard Robert Englund or saw Robert Englund say that he gave his blessing to, I think it's Alexander Skarsgård, the guy who played the new Pennywise. And I think he played another really creepy character recently. He'd be good. And if you've never seen it, there's a YouTube horror movie. Maybe he was Nosferatu. I think she's actually right. So there you go. He played Nosferatu and Pennywise. I think he can play Freddy Krueger. But also, there's a Nightmare on Elm Street movie on YouTube called Dylan's New Nightmare from the kid who actually played Dylan in Wes Craven's New Nightmare. And the guy that plays Freddy in that is really, really good too. So in all honesty, there's two actors ready-made. However, Hollywood's going to do what Hollywood's going to do. I'm looking forward to both of these. I'm going to be the first person to tell you, just don't judge a book by its cover. They could cast Dwayne Johnson as Freddy in one movie, and I had this sorted out in my head, Will Ferrell in the other. That would be terrible, right? They would both be terrible Freddys. But I would watch it to give them a chance, right? That's my whole point about this. So there you go. There's your Nightmare on Elm Street news. We're getting two nightmares. The only concern, my legitimate concern, is that from what I've read, they are racing. I don't think you should race to do this. If you're going to do a full remake, take your time, watch the original, have the original playing on the background on a loop the entire time so you don't miss anything. And if you're going to make a new movie, if you're Lee Cronin, just take your time. Make a good Freddy, make a good story, make a good movie. I'm more worried on who's going to play Nancy in either of these Freddy movies. So, new nightmares are on the way, as is new Friday the 13th material. Now, I'm sure most of you know by now that the Crystal Lake series is coming this year. There's a trailer for it. Linda Cardellini is playing Pamela Voorhees, which is a fantastic casting choice. Everything she's been in, she's been great. And that's as much as I knew. until I did some research, and it turns out that Sean S. Cunningham, the man who created the original Friday the 13th movie, has announced or guaranteed or something that they are working on a classic Jason movie, or an old school Jason movie. One of those two is what he called it. So we're getting a good, good might be the wrong word, you never know how they turn out, but we're getting a new Friday movie from the guy who made the first Friday movie. Now, he said, or for the concept anyway, I don't know much about Sean Cunningham, but I know his name and I know he was involved with the OG Fridays. Of course, the OG Friday, Pamela Voorhees. But he said an old school Jason movie, meaning we're getting classic Jason Voorhees, which will be awesome. I'm really looking forward to a classic Jason Voorhees movie. A few years ago, there were rumors that they were going to try to do a found footage Friday the 13th. I think that could have worked. I think that a found footage Friday the 13th could be done well if you do it right with the cameras and everything. Maybe people are witnessing the murders. Someone gets murdered while holding the camera or with a camera. Even those are always fun. I think that happened in one of the VHSs. But that didn't come to fruition, obviously. I'm looking forward to this as well, especially since there's not much other information just yet. I like how some of these are very limited info because it's up to you to think about it. If this gets done right, I think it'd be really good. I mentioned the Nightmare remake from 2010, I think. Sorry, there's a gnat. And my son is unhappy right next to me. The Friday the 13th remake, I think was 2009. That was really good. I do not fully understand why we didn't get a follow-up to that. The cast is good. You got Danielle Panabaker. You got Jared Padalecki. I think that Jason was perfect. They let him run. Because when he died, he's just a kid. Why is he lumbering? I love the fact they let him run. And the kills were creative, too. I think he used a crossbow. Which, I mean, why not, right? It sucks it didn't get made. It does have the single worst sex scene in the history of film. I don't care who you are or what you watch. I think Tubi probably has better scenes than that. I said it. I meant it. But I'm looking forward to a new one, right? It's fine. I wish the 09 would have gotten a follow-up. It didn't. I don't care who plays Jason as long as it's the big guy who can run, right? I want him to run. I want him to be big. I want him to take weapons and swing them with ridiculous force. You don't need to do too much on the gore. I think it's something else. I didn't talk about anything like that much with the Nightmare movies because the Nightmare movies are not overly gory either. They can have gore in them. But I know in 2026, everyone wants to be a gore hound, which we'll talk about another series and gore here in a little bit. Sorry, excuse me. But I think you can do a good Jason movie with just some blood, you know? No, it doesn't have to be too gory, even have gore. I'm not against gore. I like the Terrifier movies, for goodness sake. But you can make a good Jason movie. And I'm excited to see what Sean S. Cunningham, his name's hard to say, comes up with. New Friday the 13th movie coming. And of course the Crystal Lake series, which I think you have to see before you can judge it. I think even the trailer, even if you're excited about it, doesn't give you enough information, which is a good thing. So maybe, I thought about this too, maybe the Crystal Lake series ends and leads into the movie. Because, again, Pamela Voorhees is the killer in the OG. Who knows? We'll see what happens. So there's your Friday the 13th stuff. And I mentioned gore earlier. Speaking of very gory and very mean, but also kind of silly movies, the Saw franchise. This has got a lot of people talking because Saw has been given back to or bought back by James Wan and Lee Winnell, the gentleman that made the original Saw movie. At least the first one, maybe the second one too. And of course that means Blumhouse is attached. I haven't seen a Blumhouse movie I don't like. I know people talk about Imaginary all the time. I haven't seen Imaginary yet, but I think it looks good. I don't do this thing where I'm like, this company does really good movies, and someone goes, yeah, but I didn't like this movie. I don't care what you didn't like. I'm talking about me. I've never seen a Blumhouse movie I don't like. So I'm excited that Blumhouse is attached. I do think it is a soft reboot. I think that there was going to be a Saw 11 that got scrapped after this all happened and the rights went back to Blumhouse. So I don't know if Tobin Bell will come back as Jigsaw. I'm going to repeat myself multiple times in this video. Whoever they cast, just give them a chance, right? You could have Tobin Bell in it. He's Tobin Bell. Maybe James Wan and Lee Winnell decide, screw it, we'll do Saw 11. Why not? You know, it's the Saw movies. You can do whatever the hell you want in a Saw movie. But if they decide to reboot it and start with a new Saw movie and new characters, don't remake the first one, right? The way the Saw movies are, I think they're too creative of an endeavor, right? you can do whatever you want. You can make this cast of horrible garbage people that did horrible garbage things and make them go through these traps and whatever. A lot of people, myself included, think that Saw 10 is the best Saw movie or one of the top 3 best Saw movies, at least. And I completely agree. It is so creative and it's so unique, and it puts us back in the original timeline and everything. And it paints, Jigsaw as kind of a good guy because of who the people are. And a lot of the violence, a lot of the gore, yeah, again, these movies can be very gory. And in this timeline, in this year, this world, people like gore and horror movies. So do it, right? Put some gore in it. Have it be a little fun. Cast somebody who can be judgmental but understanding. And I think that's the best way to describe Jigsaw. It's like, hey, you did something stupid, but I'm going to give you a chance to recognize how precious life is. I'm sorry, I'm trying really hard. This is the second time I've made this video. The first time was even worse, believe it or not. But I'm going to trust James Wan and Lee Winnell. These guys made some of my favorite movies ever. I trust them all the time. I've literally, just like the Blumhouse company, if I see James Wan's name attached to anything, I'm excited about it. So, new Saw movies, potentially a soft reboot. I am okay with it. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do, right? I don't think they're rushing anything out, but when it happens, I think everyone's eyes are going to be on it, because Saw is a big franchise. A lot of people have their opinions on it. I don't think any of the Saw movies are terrible. I do think some are worse than others, for sure. And if you count Spiral, I think Spiral's probably at the bottom of the list. Nothing against Chris Rock, nothing against Samuel L. Jackson. I just think the movie works. So, new Saw incoming. And I mentioned earlier, talking about too much gore, something that didn't have that much gore in the early days is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. See, I'm segueing. This one you should all know about by now. If you don't, I'm going to tell you. Obsession director Curry Barker has been hired by A24 of all companies, we'll talk about them in just a moment, to direct a new Texas Chainsaw. Now, I said I don't think there's anything is a bad Saw. I like almost all the Fridays. Actually, I think I like all the Friday the 13th. I like all the Elm Street movies, even the reboot with Jackie Earle Haley. I think it gets too much hate. There are some very, very bad Texas Chainsaw movies. I think 1 and 2 are really, really good. 3 and 4 can be 3 and 4, although it does have Matthew McConaughey being hilarious. I think the 2003 movie, one of my wife's favorite horror movies, maybe her favorite, I think it gets too much hate. I think it's really good, but it also ups the gore, which is something you didn't see in the originals very much. All the other Texas Chainsaw movies after the 2003 remake are crap. They're all just terrible. I haven't seen the Netflix one, but everyone says it's terrible. So, once again, like I said with Lee Cronin and James Wan and Sean Cunningham, I really, really trust Curry Barker. His YouTube short horror movie, Milk and Cereal, spelled S-E-R-I-A-L, like serial killer, is really good. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's creepy. It will freak you out, but it's really like entertaining is the only word I can come up with. And like I said, he made Obsession. I've seen 1 or 2 bad reactions to Obsession. It's like when Sinners came out. The only people that didn't like Sinners were people who were forcing themselves not to like Sinners. Like, it's too good of a movie. If you don't like it as much as I did, I understand that. Like, I think it was the best horror movie we've had in years and years and years. Huh? Oh, she said that Texas Chainsaw was her favorite. The 2003. Huh?
Sinners.
Oh, Sinners. Oh, Sinners was her favorite. Sinners was awesome. I glazed about it. I really did. I said it was one of the best horror movies I have ever seen. And I still stand by that. Other people were like, yeah, it was really good, but I don't think it was that good. People that didn't like it, I think, were lying to themselves. And I think the same thing about people that don't like Obsession. They're just saying that because they're trying to be edgy. If there's 100 people in a room and 99 of them like Obsession, there's always that one guy's like, well, I didn't. Good for you. Sorry, another rant. But Curry Barker taking over Texas Chainsaw after one Hollywood blockbuster, he's going to do fine. I think he wants to take it back to its roots, which means there may not be much gore in this. But the original Texas Chainsaw is really scary. If you've never watched it, watch it at like 10 p.m. with all the lights off by yourself. or even have friends over. It's scary. The kills are interesting. If you're silly, if you want to, you can just suspend your disbelief, excuse me. Because, growing up, I thought it was based on a true story. It's loosely based on Ed Gein, which is 95% of all horror. Everything's loosely based on Ed Gein. But growing up, they had you believe it because they had, crime scene photos. And there was a rumor going around for a really long time that the last shot of the movie, where Leatherface slams his cellar door shut, was real footage. Like someone had shot that before they died and they put it in the movie. I believed that for a decade. I'm a moron. I also watched pro wrestling, thought it was real for most of my life. Anyway, point is, Curry Barker is going to take Texas Chainsaw. He's going to make it the way it's supposed to be made for a new audience. And I think it'll get people into the Texas Chainsaw movies. I'm not saying Obsession didn't have gore. Obsession absolutely had gore, good lord. But it was limited. It's like Annabelle Creation, which we'll talk about in another video someday. It's secretly my favorite horror movie of all time. All the Conjuring and Annabelle movies, they're about jump scares. They're about terror. They're about edge-of-your-seat thrills. There's just a bit of gore in Annabelle Creation, and it adds enough to the movie without taking away from the rest of the scares. And that's what I think Curry Barker will do with Texas Chainsaw. He'll make it scary, he'll make it gross, he'll make it creepy, and then he'll add enough gore for you to go, do I want to look away? No, not really. So really looking forward to the new Texas Chainsaw movie. And I don't have a good segue for this other than another character who doesn't know much about gore unless Rob Zombie is directing it, is the Halloween franchise. Now, when I made this list, I had Nightmare, Friday, and Saw on here. Decided to add Texas Chainsaw. Those four I knew a little bit about, right? I knew nothing about any more Halloween movies after the David Gordon Green trilogy. Turns out Miramax has bought the rights back. I believe they were the original owners. And now, not only are they making a new movie, they're making a show. Very excited about this. This is all news to me. A Halloween show could be really good depending on what it's about. And a new Halloween film, I think, could be perfect. With the reaction and reception to the recent Halloween movies. If you want my opinion on the Halloween movies, I've given you my opinion on the rest of the franchises, right? I think the quadrilogy of Halloween's 1, 2, 4, and 5 is great. I absolutely love it. I don't remember if 6... Is that Curse or 5? I don't know. I don't remember what the hell the 6th Halloween movie is, but I know 1, 2, 4, and 5 are really good together. Yes, I know there's a little girl who's psychic or whatever, but it's fine. I like those movies. I think they're really good. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Yes, it's stuck in your head now, and that's okay. Don't worry, I won't sing it. It's a stupid jingle, but I hope it's stuck in your head. I cannot stand H2O. Resurrection is only fun if I'm less than sober and hanging out with friends because it's got Busta Rhymes in it and it's goofy. Hey, Mikey, happy fucking Halloween is one of my favorite lines in the history of horror because it's so dumb. The Rob Zombie movies are trash. I like the story in the first one. You get more with Dr. Loomis. You get to see him grow with Michael. I hate that they had Sabretooth play Michael. Michael's not supposed to be a fucking 10-foot tall linebacker. And I like who they got to play Dr. Loomis. So I'm shouting over my son. So that's all I'm going to say about those. The David Gordon Green movies, I think, were okay for some of them. Sorry, I know I'm still on camera. I think David Gordon Green's Halloween was good. I think Halloween Ends was great. Or Halloween Kills. Whoa. Slow down. Take your hands off the keyboard. I meant Halloween Kills because Halloween Ends was kind of crap. It exists, and I watched it, and I enjoyed bits of it, but it is surely not that good of a Halloween movie. So I'm looking forward to a new Halloween series. Once again, who plays Laurie Strode, Dr. Loomis, stuff like that. I'm excited to see what they do. Again, I don't think there's much more information. This is just kind of something I read about recently. So we're going to get new Halloween movies. We're going to get a Halloween show, which again, is it like Rob Zombie's first Halloween movie? Are we going to get a series based on... I'm really sorry, guys. This is the version that's going to go up. So you're just going to have to deal with it. Dr. Loomis and Michael Myers relationship? Are we going to get a whole series based on that? Is it going to be a build up from when he was a kid to when he kills his sister to when he goes to the asylum? Is it going to be all of that in one? Maybe we tie it into a movie. Who cares? I'm excited. So there you have it. 5 major horror villains and movie series that are coming back within the next couple of years. I'm willing to bet maybe even before 2030. You got Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Saw, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Halloween. Go ahead, let me know in the comments which one of these you're looking forward to the most. Don't just shout at me about Robert Englund. I promise you he's not playing Freddy. And let me know if there's any other franchises you would like to see continue on. I mentioned there's going to be 2 new VHS movies. You got Mixtape this year and SCP next year. We got Evil Dead's coming out. Who knows what else is down the line. So thank you everybody so much for watching and being patient with this. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I already told you to leave comments. A quick apology for being off the channel for a while. I got burned out, but I was really excited to do this. I will get the SummerSlam 2005 review up because that's too much fun of a show. Next weekend's supposed to be MAW, back-to-back show, Monsters Ball, Mistress's Ball. It should go down. I just got to get creating done. I don't really know. I don't have any answers for you as to what is coming next for the channel, and I apologize for that. Again, I got burnt out. But I'm going to sit down and come up with some ideas for future episodes of this, Retro Wrestling Rewind, and you guys know how MAW works. I do have a really fun idea for a future episode of this show, but it may not be until next month or even October. And just a heads up, in October, I am going to try to do a few extra episodes of this for obvious reasons. So until next time, this is JT Channel. I am JT. I will see you in the next one.